We have a Brantford working group, which hasn't been really active because really the county and the city have not been too forthcoming on accommodating us or consulting with us in this regard. But the Brantford Working Group has the city and provincial involvement, particularly referring to the boundary lines and adjustments and some of the improvements within the city. I have the veterans file, which is very near and dear to me as a veteran, and I do attend to that on a public relations basis or special type of ceremonies. In policing issues, the Tri-Partite agreement, I expressed an interest in that and want to proceed and do as we can to improve the services and support the policing effort. I have a special file right now that involves Health Canada and health services, or at least the Gane Community Health Center, and purchasing and procurement of equipment. There seems to be a cumbersome process within that area, and through the council of the political role, we have been asked to assist in that regard, and we're proceeding fairly well in trying to come up with alternate or adjustments to that process so the appropriate public type of service can continue effectively. Water piping, very near and dear to me. We have an interest in the total community, the perimeter of the community, to receive water piping. Our negotiations are occurring with the different communities such as Haldeman and New Credit, and where we could go and negotiate that access. But I think the bigger picture is for us to have Six Nations piping out throughout the community. Big picture, lots of money, but something to vision towards. Arts and culture is something new for the community, particularly not the community itself, but for this council. They are expressing an interest, wanting to be more open or outgoing or transparent, I guess, and being aware and promoting the people and skills and culture that we have and the wonderful entertainers we have and the skills that people bring to us. And so somehow the council could tie into that and help have a higher profile in that regard is something that this will be new for the committee to take a look at and communicate with others. So in that regard, some of the issues, of course, that is involved with internal stuff is external committees, which have to be considered, and representation on boards and commissions within the community and outside the community is somewhat of a mandate and something we do have to take care of. And this is estimated at about 30 functional type of activities, whether it be with the national scene or the provincial, Chiefs of Ontario, the Assembly of First Nations, or internal boards and commissions. And so it's something that we have to be assigned to and handle as part of our business, in addition to the internal committees. Added to this, of course, is volunteer assignment issues that a council will attend to and have an action plan to address reporting on for the term, to address particular activities such as illegal dumping, laws or bylaws, the youth and seniors, border crossing challenges, rural water piping, governance within the community, and of course community participation. Some list of the ongoing issues of common interest are, of course, the arts and culture and gaming, housing, education, lands and resources, health and social, federal excise taxation, i.e. natural gas or gas, infrastructure, community interest, community priorities, youth and elders, land management, the Indian Act, governance, truth and reconciliation, etc. For myself, I have an estimated, as I mentioned, 9 functions assigned for part of the term, and plus ad hoc and other assignments. Questions have come forward. Is this a full-time job or a part-time job? And perhaps the common thought is, i.e. part-time, but one can spend as much time, and there's no limitation on the work that's before you or the time you assign to doing the district work plus the council work. Generally, I may not do the formal traveling. However, I do observe something that's very helpful to me, the national network on what they call CPAC. It's a coverage or a airtime for a broadcast of the parliamentary procedures of the Hill. The question period is covered, and discussions on the Senate and the parliamentary committees. Particular interest of mine, of course, is when it comes time for Aboriginal issues, those presentations to the standing committees. You hear further, though, the understanding of the government if you pay attention to the Treasury Board discussions and financing and major issues as such we maybe relate to our Indian people and general government operations. This is available either daily or when you have the opportunity or as available. So I do try to be as consistent as I can to observe that. And if something does come about that I'm aware of, I do report that to council.